Hey, good morning, Choice Residential. Hope your day's off to a great start. Today, I want to talk about being the best listing agent you can be, specifically the best listing agent you can be as it relates to working with buyer agents and with buyers. And so, what this means is thinking through the lens of a buyer's agent and of a buyer as to what information they would find helpful and what information they're going to want during the transaction. Because the more information you can collect and provide to them upfront proactively, the fewer questions you're going to get while you have a home listed, and the more streamlined your listing process is going to be. So it's okay if you haven't listed a lot of homes before, because if you've shown property or helped buyers purchase property before, you understand dynamically what the buyer finds value in and what's going to help you as a buyer's agent and help your buyer make a decision. Now, doing this really serves two purposes. Number one, like I said, it's going to make your life easier as a listing agent because you're already providing that information that buyer agents are typically going to ask for anyway. So you're not getting those questions at 6 p.m. on a Friday night when you're trying to go out to dinner. You can just direct people to the MLS documents where you've already provided all of that information. But number two, the easier you can make it for buyer agents and the more confidence you can give them that you're being open and transparent and providing all of this information, the easier it is for that buyer agent to coach their buyer into making the best possible offer that they can. So you're creating and conveying confidence to that buyer, which ultimately leads to better terms for your seller, which is what you're being hired for. So what does this look like in a tangible manner? Well, again, we're thinking about what would a buyer want? What information can we collect? So does the seller have a survey from when they purchased it? Whether they do or don't, you can pull the plat map from the Register of Deeds. HOA information, including covenants, bylaws. Is there a website? What other additional information does the HOA provide that you can give to the buyer agent? Utility information. So who are the utility providers and what are the average costs associated with that? What are the ages of the major systems in the home, the HVAC, the water heater, the roof? So when were those items replaced? If they haven't been replaced, what year were they installed? And if they had been replaced, is there any relevant paperwork or invoices that you can have on hand and provide for those items? Has there been any work done to the house in terms of remodels or updates? If so, what specifically was done? Is there any paperwork associated with it? Did licensed professionals do that work? Were permits required? And if so, were they pulled? So all of that type of information, these are questions that buyers are typically going to want to know anyway. So go ahead and collect it up front and make it available to buyer agents proactively. Different ways you can do this, but a simple way is to just create a document. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. In fact, I would make the argument that not having your branding plastered all over this type of document is actually better because the people you're giving it to don't care about your branding. So you may choose to have two different versions, one that you give to prospects of your own, but then another that you make available to buyers agents to give to their buyers, because you don't want that buyer agent to have any hesitation about passing that information along to the buyer. And if it has your name and contact information plastered all over it, they may have some hesitation. On that document, you can just list all of the relevant and important points that a buyer would want to know about a property. So this is a dual purpose, both a marketing piece where you are conveying with flowery language the things that are beneficial about the home, but also the tangible data points that a buyer would want to know, such as the age of the systems, utility information, and so on and so forth. So that would be an easy document to put into the document section, again, to make your life easier as a listing agent. So that's just one tip for you to think about through the lens of a buyer and a buyer's agent when you're taking a listing to make it easier for them to ultimately make a strong offer on your listing. If you have other tips and advice, please put them in the comments below so that everybody can learn from your experience. If you need me, I'm just a phone call away. So until next time, take care.